Good afternoon, everyone, and it's good to be here. Before I get into my remarks, I'd like to first thank CJI for the opportunity to speak today and congratulate Alistair and his team for this great planning and execution of the event this week. It's been outstanding, and it's been very impressive and a reliable, valuable experience for this week. So what I'd like to talk about today will be nothing new to most of you, but I do believe it's worth restating to remind us that we participate in an incredibly interesting industry that's truly a national asset, and we should not let criticism of business aviation go unanswered. Undoubtedly, everyone in this room has a great appreciation for our remarkable industry, but you may have noticed that others outside the industry have a different perspective, and in many cases see business aircraft users as fat cats damaging the environment and putting a strain on public resources. Their distorted image of business jets is that they are the exclusive domain of the rich and famous, when in fact, our passengers most often are technicians, mid-level managers, and customers, not C-suite executives. And 85% of the companies that use these aircraft are small and mid-sized companies. While a very small percentage of self-indulgent individuals take advantage of the system for their own benefit, the vast majority of companies and their senior executives use business aircraft because they are true business tools. Uninformed and misinformed factions fail to see how business aviation contributes to the overall quality of life, productivity, advances in technology, helping people in need, as well as economic contributions to GDP, balance of trade, and jobs. Outside our aviation community, with rare exception, there's little or no understanding of how valuable the business aviation sector is to our nation and our society as a whole. Ed Bolin, the president and CEO of NBAA, sums it up best. He said, "Business aviation is an industry that is essential to America's economy and transportation system. It supports jobs, connects communities, helps companies succeed, and provides humanitarian lift in times of crisis. This is an industry that should be promoted, not pilloried." That's the end of the quote. The sad fact is this has been going on for decades. Some of you may recall the reaction when the CEOs of the three largest automakers appeared before Congress in 2008, asking for $34 billion in bailouts. The business aviation stakeholders, led by GAMA and NBAA, launched a powerful program to counter the unjust attack on our industry. And we successfully demonstrated that we are indeed a valuable national asset. The U.S., by far, is the world leader of the business aviation industry, not only in terms of sheer numbers, but also in terms of innovation. New avionics technologies, for instance, often are developed for use in business aircraft before they become standard equipment on commercial aircraft. And then there's business aviation's involvement in sustainability initiatives. In many ways, the sector's on a cutting edge, pushing aircraft and engine OEMs to develop fuel-efficient platforms, adopting eco-friendly technologies, and participating in carbon offset programs. In terms of productivity, business aircraft are designed specifically as business tools because they enable cost-effective access to destinations across the country and around the world. They are flown primarily to more than 5,000 towns with little or no airline service, making them essential to thousands of companies of all types and sizes. Business aviation also promotes social responsibility through initiatives like disaster relief missions following hurricanes and earthquakes. Business aircraft typically make more than 15,000 flights each year for humanitarian reasons. And by supporting charitable causes, business aviation users further demonstrate their commitment to giving back. Hundreds of Fortune 500 companies, for instance, play a crucial role in supporting charitable organizations like Corporate Angel Network, which facilitates free flights for cancer patients traveling to specialized treatment centers using empty seats on business aircraft. Such access to vital medical care might otherwise be inaccessible due to financial constraints, health limitations, or logistical challenges. Over the past 43 years, CAN has flown more than 69,000 patient flights throughout the U.S. There are dozens of organizations like Corporate Angel Network that provide life-saving and life-enhancing services to thousands of people who are going through the worst times of their lives. So back to the critics. The current administration's rhetoric and proposals are obviously raising deep concerns in the business aviation community. The knives really come out when the negative narratives emerge from tax policy discussions. That's when certain factions are most vocal. As you know, the IRS recently announced a new focus on the business use of aircraft. These positive features I mentioned are frequently ignored and dismissed in tax discussions. President Biden's proposed five-fold fuel tax increase and changes to the depreciation schedule are punitive measures that will likely stunt the growth of an industry that contributes nearly $250 billion to the nation's GDP and more than $26 billion in U.S. exports. Higher taxes on business aircraft will, in fact, damage our industry and our nation in several ways. Higher taxes directly increase the cost of operating business aircraft, leading to reduced profitability for companies that rely on aviation for their operations. If the cost of ownership and operation rises due to higher taxes, some companies may opt to reduce their fleets or delay purchases of new aircraft. This can lead to a decline in demand in the aircraft manufacturing and sales sectors, not to mention the enormous aftermarket. Smaller businesses, which may rely heavily on business aviation for growth and operational efficiency, could be disproportionately affected. Increased taxes would strain their budgets, leading to a slowdown in expansion or a shift away from using business aviation altogether. As the cost associated with business aviation increases, the companies are likely to explore alternative modes of transportation, such as commercial flights or virtual meetings, which would further diminish business aviation's market share. Higher taxes would also discourage investment in new technologies and aircraft, hindering advancements in fuel efficiency, safety, and environmental sustainability. The business aviation industry supports numerous jobs and significantly contributes to local and national economies. A downturn due to higher taxes is likely to lead to job losses and a reduction in economic activity related to aircraft manufacturing, maintenance, and services. So while higher taxes on business aircraft are intended to generate revenue, they can lead to increased operational costs, reduced demand, and potential negative impacts on overall economy and innovation within the business aviation sector. Moreover, negative tax proposals would adversely impact an industry that supports more than 1 million jobs and would threaten the industry's role as an innovation incubator, which drives advancement toward greater safety and net zero carbon emissions. Political figures in the media who take cheap shots at business aviation should take the time to understand what the industry is all about, including the value to society as well as the economy. Those who take this responsible step will find that the sector may be one of the country's most misunderstood and underappreciated innovation centers and economic engines. So as we stand on the threshold of transitioning to a new administration, there's certainly no shortage of uncertainty regarding policies that will inevitably shape our future. Whether that metamorphosis is helpful or hurtful to our industry, well, we'll just have to wait and see. We built an incredibly powerful and valuable industry over 7 decades, thanks to the natural forces at work and the effective support and leadership of organizations such as NBAA and GAMA. And there's every reason to believe that trajectory will continue well into the future. Business aviation is, after all, a national asset. Thanks for listening.